Hi, this is Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor, and welcome back to another episode of 5-Star Facilitation, where we put the fun back in facilitation. So today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. It's less a tip or a technique, and it's more a state of being or a state of mind or a way you handle things during the facilitation. Now, one thing that I would do a lot when I first started out facilitating was I'd be so obsessed with time, right? I'd be so obsessed with hitting my marks and not going over time and making sure everything went according to plan. It almost became too clinical, right? It's like it became more about delivering a set of protocols and less about connecting with the audience and delivering value to them. So today, what we're going to talk about is finding the flow and the importance of having a flow and understanding it during the presentation so people can really feel connected with you. So let me give you a few examples. Sometimes you'll be in a facilitation and there'll be a particular topic and you didn't think it was really going to touch any nerves. You were just going to go over it as an intro or as part of what you're doing. And wouldn't you know it, there is tremendous energy and excitement about it. And people are talking and talking and talking, and you're getting nervous because it's messing with your timeline, right? It's like, oh, I only gave 30 seconds for this, but now, it's taking, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And your tendency is just to really ratchet that down and say, oh, guys, we got to shut this down. This is not here what we're here to talk about. We have to move on to the next thing. And the problem with that is it really closes off the energy for the rest of the presentation, and people feel like, hey, they were really enjoying what's going on and having this part of conversation, and this was going to make them excited for everything that went to follow. And instead, what happened? They had a door slammed in their face, right? How do you feel when you have a door slammed in your face? So that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is you can't just lose control of a presentation either, right? Sometimes you'll have a situation where, maybe it is something that you're meaning to talk about, but somehow it gets hijacked and people will not let it go, or one individual person just keeps asking the same question over and over again. And what that does is it takes away from the integrity of the presentation and the engagement and enjoyment of the presentation for the group as a whole. So flow doesn't mean just going with the flow all the time. Finding the flow means also understanding where you have to bring things back and adjust things back. So it's really, you have to hold the presentation and the facilitation kind of loosely, but you can't let go of it and let it just run wild, because that's the reason why you're there. You're there to provide those kind of guardrails. You're there to provide the space in which a really great conversation or thought process or facilitation can happen. So what do you do when things are kind of running away? So the first thing you want to do is you want to prepare for that to happen sometimes, right? So you may know how this is going to run away, or you may know that there are certain people in the audience who typically hijack. So it's much better to come in prepared and have a plan. So if Barry or Jane is always hijacking things, be prepared to say, Barry, this is really great. I definitely want to talk to you about this later. We should have drinks or grab some lunch over it. Right now, we're going to move on to this next topic. Or Jane, this is really amazing stuff. I am so happy you're here to bring this up. Let's talk about our next topic. And if we have some time during Q&A, I would love you to continue this conversation, right? So this way you're prepared and you're not sitting there, looking at your clock, looking at your watch, waiting, getting nervous. And then finally, when you say something, it comes off as kind of rude or you're pressing people. On the flip side, what you want to do is when you feel the energy in the room, you want to just relax and enjoy it and see where it's going and how you can connect that to the next point in the facilitation. Because what happens is if you obsess and you think too much about the time, all you can hear is the clicking of the clock. Click, 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 click. You can't hear all the great value that's being shared by the participants who are really having a great time because you're doing a great job facilitating. So why would you shoot yourself in the foot by slamming the door in their face? So it's really important that you have that state of being, that state of mind where you're going to find the flow, where you're going to hold the presentation loosely, right? But also hold on to it and create a beautiful space during which the conversation can happen. My name is Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. If you would like to discuss more how I might be able to help you make your next presentation flow and be a really great experience for your audience, I'd love to hear from you. Check me out on www.connectioncounselor.com. There's other videos and information there, or you can email me at joe@connectioncounselor.com. Remember, you can change your life one connection at a time. Thank you.